Well, a short while ago, Donald Trump addressed the summit in Saudi Arabia. He said the fight against terrorism is not a battle between different faiths, but between good and evil.
Later today, we will make history again with the opening of the new Global Center for Combating Extremist Ideology, located right here in this central part of the Islamic world. This groundbreaking new center represents a clear declaration that Muslim-majority countries must take the lead in combating radicalization, and I want to express our gratitude to King Salman for his strong demonstration and his absolutely incredible and powerful leadership. With God's help, this summit will mark the beginning of the end for those who practice terror and spread its vile creed. At the same time, we pray this special gathering may someday be remembered as the beginning of peace in the Middle East, and maybe even all over the world. But this future can only be achieved through defeating terrorism and the ideology that drives it.
Well, meanwhile, ahead of Trump's speech, Saudi Arabia's King Salman vowed to fight terrorism and said the region had a responsibility to stand united against the forces of evil and extremism. The major focus of the Arab Islamic American Summit was billed as seeking ways to enhance cooperation between the U.S. and Muslim countries in the fight against extremism. This is the second day of Trump's visit to Saudi Arabia. He's also held individual meetings with Arab leaders of Qatar, Bahrain, Egypt, Kuwait and Oman, and attended a Gulf Cooperation Council summit. Well, let's get to the very latest now. I'm joined live from Riyadh by CGTN's Adel Al-Maruki. Adel, of course, a much talked about speech by Donald Trump and a series of high-level meetings. Just talk us through some of the major events today and the significance of those meetings so far.
Well, you pretty summed up all the one-on-one bilateral meetings that President Donald Trump has held. Mainly they are the Gulf countries or Gulf Cooperation Council leaders and Egypt. He has finished his statement in the Arab Islamic Summit. A couple of leaders have spoken in public or on live television. That includes the Egyptian president and the Jordanian King Abdullah. Other than that, just Trump and King Salman have given their speech. During these speeches, President al-Sisi has re-expressed his admiration to Donald Trump, this time in front of the whole summit, saying that President Trump has taken precise and accurate and also quite strict measures against the extremist Islamic ideologies and protecting his country from terrorism. Overall, after the summit is now over, some leaders are starting to leave. Others will remain for the OIC summit, the Islamic summit that will be taking place in Jeddah. And then afterwards, several hours from now, and after attending a small a business meeting, Donald Trump will attend it. He will leave to Jerusalem, where he will be talking with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and he comes from Riyadh with messages from Arab leaders who stress that one of the core methods to end the threat of radicalization and recruiting terrorists is to reach peace and final solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. So this was the message that has been delivered to him, and hopefully they believe that when he goes there, some serious and solid steps to reignite and put together revive the talks for peace would finally begin.
And Adel, of course, as you said there a little earlier, a very cordial exchange between Donald Trump and the Egyptian president. What's the significance, however, of Donald Trump saying he's planning a trip to Egypt very soon?
Well, it definitely strengthens the relations and shows the confidence that the United States president has in first Egyptian security and managing and the capability to manage his visit in the region. Egypt has been struggling with its touristic industry being tarnished because of several attacks that happened in the country. So he showed a confidence in this level by announcing that he is thinking about coming to Egypt. That's one thing. He's also reflecting the strength of the partnership that the two have quickly reached together in just a few months. They have met each other now twice, and it seems that the admiration between the two leaders is quite strong, and they have been stressing on that in almost every meeting they have, and every opportunity what the other leader is mentioned, there's always compliments from both sides. So there is a new face of the Egyptian-US relations, one that has been quite tough when President al-Sisi came to power, facing restrictions, facing a freeze in US arms aid that Egypt used to get since the Camp David peace treaty with Israel. Obama's administration has been quite maybe a bump in the road of these relations and from the Egyptian perspective, and now they see Donald Trump back inside the White House is returning back to the normal ties.
Well, thank you so much for that update. Adel Al-Muruki live there in Riyadh, of course, at that Saudi summit, which has given the world perhaps the clearest indication so far of US policy towards the Arab world.